YouTube, what's going on, y'all? It's Pick Saber here, and welcome to another video. Really quickly, before I get into today's video topic, I want to remind you, if you're new here, go check out my introductory video where I go into detail about what type of content to expect on the channel. In December 2025, Kyle Whittingham was hired as Michigan's new head football coach after he announced that he was stepping down from his job at Utah. And although I do believe Kyle Whittingham is a great fit for this Michigan program, I do have my doubts about this team heading into 2026. Despite having some talented position groups, Michigan's roster has dealt with significant turnover, as the Wolverines lost roughly 27 players to the transfer portal, stripping away core veterans who provided stability. The defensive line, while talented, is undergoing a major overhaul, relying heavily on transfers and younger players to step into significant roles immediately, replacing proven disruption and depth with portal additions and other inexperienced rotational players leaves the front seven vulnerable to physical rushing attacks, which can be a massive problem when facing ground and pound teams in the Big Ten. Michigan will also be replacing production at linebacker. The second level was the heartbeat of the defense last year, anchored by talented contributors like Jimmy Roder, Ernest Hausman, and Jay-Sean Barham. That entire nucleus is gone, and this year's unit will rely heavily on young, unproven pieces under an entirely new system implemented by defensive coordinator Jay Hill. The secondary loses 3 starters from last year's team, which might cause this unit to take a step back, as this group was very strong last year and excelled at limiting explosive plays. The entire ceiling of the secondary hinges on safety Rod Moore returning from a major multi-surgery knee injury. When healthy, Moore is the intellectual field general of this unit. If he is limited or slow to trust the knee, the communication breakdowns in the back end will be exposed by elite passing attacks. Michigan's secondary is also undergoing a structural transition under new cornerbacks coach Gennaro Guilford, and it might take some time for this defensive unit to get adjusted to the new scheme. The offensive side of the ball is also undergoing a major identity makeover under new offensive coordinator Jason Beck, operating out of the power spread. Much of the offensive success, or lack thereof, would be predicated on the growth and development of sophomore quarterback Bryce Underwood. And while he does possess high potential, relying on a young quarterback to master a new offensive system while playing against Big Ten defenses is a tall task. Michigan's wide receiver situation has been a primary concern, as the wide receiver core did struggle last year. They failed to separate consistently or secure the football, which caused the passing attack to stay stagnant against any defense with the post. Jason Beck's offensive scheme relies heavily on 11 personnel or 3 receiver sets and precise route timing. Because this entire rotation is learning new terminology and chemistry on the fly, the margin for error is razor thin. And while the blocking unit has intriguing upside, they are transitioning away from seasoned multi-year starters and leaning heavily on a younger rotation. And with Greg Crippen moving on, redshirt sophomore Jake Granora steps into the full-time role as the anchor and the voice of the offensive line. While Granora played extensively last year at right guard, moving to center full-time is a massive transition, as he will be tasked with making pre-snap slide protections, identifying defensive fronts, and handling direct line call responsibilities against disguised pressures. Leaning on younger sophomores to anchor the trenches means that physical disciplined front sevens can exploit technique flaws and footwork inconsistencies, especially in high leverage road environments. In a shift to offensive coordinator Jason Beck's power spread concepts and a new overall coaching staff as a whole could cause communication and cohesion growing pains as well. Taking a look at Michigan's schedule for 2026, they will face a brutal conference slate, as I project Michigan's Big Ten schedule as the second toughest in the conference, featuring road games against Ohio State and Oregon, as well as a home game versus Indiana and a tough non-conference matchup with Oklahoma. And although I do respect Kyle Whittingham's coaching pedigree, I believe 2026 will be more of a transition year for this Michigan football program, which is why I played the under 8.5 wins at -145, as my projections have Michigan at 7.9 wins. So if you enjoyed the video, feel free to click the like button and subscribe to the channel, as I will be bringing more college football content. But until then, I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Pick Saban, clocking out.